Here's the roadmap to opening a wholesale account on Amazon. In this video, we're going to dive deep into the two most important steps: product research and supplier outreach. Now, before you go looking for products on Amazon, you should first know who exactly a wholesale supplier is and how you can find them. So who is a wholesale supplier? These can be either manufacturers, brands, or distributors. Now, manufacturers, they're the people who produce products. Brands are those who market and sell the products, and distributors, these are people who have established connections with both manufacturers and brands. And essentially what they do is they buy and resell their products to you, the wholesaler. Now, there are some pros and cons of each of these suppliers, and let's begin with manufacturers and brands, since essentially they are the same thing. A lot of times you'll find out that the manufacturer is the brand and the brand's the manufacturer. So the benefits of these two are there are no middleman, and you'll get the best possible price for products. And the drawbacks are they typically have higher minimum order quantities, so you may have to spend a few $1,000s to open a wholesale account with them. Now, on the other hand, distributors, their main benefit is they offer lower minimum order quantities, so you may only have to spend a few $100s to open a wholesale account with those suppliers. And because they've done the hard work of contacting suppliers and they have these established connections, you have a much wider selection of products to choose from. So when you ask for an inventory list, you're not just going to get products from one brand, you may get products from hundreds of brands. And finally, if you can work with a local distributor, like I'll show you later on in this video, usually they offer reduced shipping costs and transit times. Again, especially if you work with a local distributor, you may even be able to go to the warehouse and pick up the goods for free. But the drawback with distributors is the opposite with manufacturers and brands. They are the middleman. So their prices are going to be a little bit higher because they're out to make a profit too. All right, now that you know the three main types of suppliers, you want to start reaching out to them to begin this process of opening a wholesale account. So how do you find wholesale suppliers? Well, there are two main strategies that we're going to cover in this video. The first one is traditional sourcing. And basically this is where you start first by researching and contacting the suppliers, and then you go on Amazon, find their highest selling products, and then you hopefully sell those products. But on the other hand, you have another strategy called reverse sourcing, and we'll also go through this strategy in this video. This is where you basically do the exact opposite. You start on Amazon first, identify the highest selling products, and then research and contact the suppliers last. Now you may be wondering, which one of these two strategies is better? And the answer is both. The truth is, the best strategy is to combine both of these approaches together. If you just do one and ignore the other, you'll most likely miss out on a ton of really good products. So if you haven't already, let's lock into this video, because I'm now going to walk you through some real life examples of how to find the best suppliers and the best products using these two strategies. We'll start with this first one here, and remember, there are three different types of suppliers. Let's pick on distributors first. Now with distributors, there's two different types. There's local distributors and there's non-local distributors. But the same strategy applies for finding both of them. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is head over to Google or your web browser and type in your city and state followed by the word distributor. Google will pull up all the distributors near you. Now, alternatively, you don't need to do this for your local city. You can type in any city you want, and this will be the same process. From here, go to more places. And these are all the local distributors near you, and you can see their websites listed here. Alternatively, you can actually type in the word wholesaler instead of distributor. That will work as well. And let's go ahead and pick one out here. I'm gonna go with this Austin Wholesale Supply. Head over to their website, and now we can see a list of all the products they sell by navigating throughout this list here, scrolling down to see what brands they sell. And let's just maybe find one real quick. I'll go to novelty, go to that category. And just try to find a product here. What are these? So B playing cards here. So these are, like poker playing cards, it looks like, and they come in a 12 pack. And what's really cool with this, because I selected a local distributor, I see I can actually come and pick up this product within 24 hours near me. So that will save me a ton on, what would be shipping cost. And then the transit time as well. I can pick this up within 24 hours. That's huge. So if I wanted to buy this product, we're not there yet, but just to show you the process of finding and contacting a distributor, I can come up here and apply for a B2B account, and this will then send me to this form here. So on this form, I can go ahead and fill it out. Later on in this video, we're gonna show you exactly what to say and how to fill up these forms. But once this form is filled out and I go ahead and click submit down here at the bottom, hopefully I'll be able to get the inventory list for this distributor. So they'll send a list of a bunch of products they sell, not just the B playing cards. So when you get that inventory list, it could look a lot like this one here. You'll see the name of the product and hopefully a column for the ASIN. So the ASIN is the identifier on Amazon. If the product has an ASIN, that means you can go and search for it on Amazon and start to analyze the listing, which I'll show you exactly how to do later on. Now, if it doesn't have an ASIN of product, you can still list it on Amazon. You're just going to be responsible for actually creating the listing and uploading it yourself. And if you need help with that, we have a bunch of videos on our channel showing you how to upload any product on Amazon. So those are just some practical ways to help you find distributors. Now let's move on to another type of supplier, this time manufacturers, and the various ways of finding them. So there's two main ways to find manufacturers. You can either use a wholesale directory, or you can go directly through the manufacturer's website and specifically their contact form. So with wholesale directories, these are websites where the suppliers said they're willing to work with wholesalers like yourself. In a lot of cases, they're willing to work with Amazon sellers. This is great because a lot of big companies just don't like working with Amazon sellers or even just directly with new wholesalers like yourself. Wholesale directories are also the fastest and easiest way to find relevant suppliers, since you can just go online and find them that way. Also, these wholesale directories, they're not middlemen, so don't confuse them with a distributor. They're essentially just connecting you to suppliers who said they're willing to work with wholesalers like yourself. So to find these wholesale directories, just go ahead and type in wholesale directories into your web browser. And it's important to know there's two different type of directories. Some directories are just general. They have a bunch of different products in a bunch of different categories there. And some directories are, very category specific. So what you could also do is if you wanted to find something in maybe the sporting goods, you can just add sporting goods at the end of your search results and find one like this one. Now, there are two directories that I'd personally recommend. The first one is Worldwide Brands. Now, they're awesome because, again, they list a bunch of suppliers who are willing to work with Amazon resellers like yourself, and they even have a category specifically for that. The only downside to this website is there's a one-time fee. Right now, it's about $197, and in my opinion, that's not that bad. Paying for a directory like this, isn't bad, because if it were free, everyone would be using it. So it's kind of nice that you will have an exclusive access to a bunch of suppliers that are willing to work with you. The second website now, this one is free. It's called Wholesale Central. And very much like the last directory, they have a category specifically for suppliers that said they will work with Amazon resellers. So that's the first way to find manufacturers, is using wholesale directories. But like I said earlier, the second way to find them is directly through their website. So here I'm on a manufacturer's website. This is the United States Playing Card Company here. Just found them on Google. I'll show you how I found them in a second. But when you're on the manufacturer website page, you can come over here to the contact page. Most will have it either at the top or all the way down at the bottom. You should see contact us listed here. And from here, this is where I can go ahead and fill out this information saying, hi, I'd like to work with you. I'd like to open a wholesale account with you. Again, I'm going to show you later on in this video what to say when you reach out to suppliers, but this is where you would do that. I real quick want to come back to their homepage here. I noticed they had a shop button. So if I go ahead and click that here. All right, now I just noticed that when I clicked that button, it brought me to a different website, in this case, Bicycle, which is a brand underneath that manufacturer. In this case, I'd want to reach out to the brand instead of the manufacturer, since obviously they're the one who's selling the product here. Now I can confirm this by going over to an Amazon listing for a bicycle card. In this example, this is the listing I pulled up here. You can see the brand name Bicycle is in the title, the store name, and then down here you see Bicycle listed as the brand. But if we scroll down now to the product information section, you can see the manufacturer here is listed as the US Playing Card Company. So this just confirms that this manufacturer is making products for this brand over here. I can also confirm this by going to their Wikipedia page, where you can read that the Bicycle brand has been manufactured by the US Playing Card Company. So this is a really important point that I want to touch on. Manufacturers can get their products into the market in one of two ways. So they can do direct sales themselves, where they're the ones selling it, or they can do a distribution channel, which this one is apparently doing here. So this is a perfect example, again, of why you'd want to reach out to a brand instead of the manufacturer, since the brand is the one selling them. So I'm back on the manufacturer website, and I just wanted to scroll down here to show you all the brands that they make products for. You can see some bigger brands here like Maverick. Seems to be a smaller brand. Aviator is a big brand, and then you see Bicycle is a really big brand as well. Another really good point here is you don't want to work with really big suppliers or brands. You want to work with smaller and lesser known ones because they're going to have way less requirements of you, and it's just more realistic to get in the door. So bigger brands, they may require you to have certain, licenses, a brick and mortar location, an online store or website, and then they'll also have you place high order quantities. They'll have really high minimum order quantities. So this is why I'd recommend going with a smaller brand. In this case, like I said, this brand B doesn't seem, in my opinion, to be a big brand. I'm not exactly sure who they are, so if I click into them and go to their website, I'll notice that I'm back on the Bicycle homepage here. But what I found out is if I come over here to filter, I can actually filter for the brands, and I see B listed here. So it looks like the brand Bicycle is selling the B product, since they're all made under the manufacturer, US Playing Card Company. And then right over here, I can see that exact same product that we were just looking at earlier. So now if I wanted to contact the brand here, I can come down and click contact, except now I'm noticing another link, this one, retail and distribution. So oftentimes you will be able to just go to the contact link and reach out to a brand or manufacturer that way. But if you see something else like retail and distribution in this example, or maybe it just says wholesale or resellers, then you can use that link, and oftentimes it'll bring you to a portal or a specific contact form for what we're trying to do here is open a wholesale account. In this case, I can see some of the requirements that they are asking for. We'll talk more about these requirements later on in this video, like a resale certificate you'll need. Do you need to register your business, or can you just do the resale certificate? Also minimum order quantities you can see here. This brand is only looking for a minimum order quantity of 300 plus 10% shipping and handling cost. I did the math on this earlier. I think that's only like an additional 30 to 100 bucks if you use that minimum order quantity of 300. So this brand actually isn't that bad. But then I'd come down here and do this contact form and submit, and hopefully we're able to download an inventory list like we showed you earlier. Okay, so now that I showed you how to find suppliers first using the first strategy of traditional sourcing, let's now move on to the second strategy, which is called reverse sourcing. So this time, before hunting down the suppliers, you'll first start on Amazon and find high-selling products. And there are 3 different ways you can do this. So let's now head over to Amazon, and we're gonna go to the bestsellers page. So we're on the Amazon bestsellers page here. All of these products are selling really well. They're in high demand. And what I would do here is start with a subcategory. So maybe we'll go through baby and then go down one more steps. There's always different subcategories. I'll go for moms just to get very specific here. And now here's what you want to look for when you're on this page. So again, you want to look for brands that are in the small to medium range. You don't want to work with any big brands. So when you're on the bestsellers page, if you see a brand that you recognize, I'd skip over that and try to find a brand that you're just not familiar with yet. Also, you want to make sure that the brand is not the seller. And we'll show you how to do this when you're looking at the buy box in just a moment. But also, you want to make sure that Amazon is not a seller. That's huge. You don't want to compete with Amazon. They're always going to win the buy box. So it's best to avoid selling anything where it's sold by Amazon. But also, you want to make sure that you're not competing with private label products. You're not going to be able to sell their products anyways. So you want to make sure that there's 2+ sellers minimum in the buy box, and usually it's 2 or 3 sellers. Next, you want the buy box to have low competition. So for this, you want to look for a buy box with 10 or fewer quality sellers. I'll show you what this looks like later. It basically is looking at the ratings and the price points when you're looking at a buy box. Next, you want to look for high demand products, obviously. And for this, we use 300 units sold each month as the indicator for that. Next, you want to find really profitable products. And for this, we like to use $20 as the minimum price range. And then lastly, you want to find products that have improvement potential. So what I mean by this is if you can identify on the listing, maybe there's poor images, not that many keywords, or the listing's just not filled out. We're going to show you later on in this video kind of how to do this analysis, but it's great to find listings that are really low quality. That way you can improve them and bring value to the brand. So let's go ahead and look at our results here. I can scroll through and just, look at, okay, I know the name Clear Blue. I wouldn't sell those pregnancy tests. I'm coming down here. Palmer's, not familiar with, but Farm Me Doc, I'm not familiar at all with. So it's a pregnancy pillow. Maybe we click into that and check it out. Okay, so the first thing is it's a small to medium-sized brand. I don't know this brand, so I think we can check that off here. Next, I want to make sure that this brand, Farm Me Doc, is not in the buy box. They're not selling the product. So I can come over here, click over here. I see there's 4 sellers, so off to a really good start. The buy box owner looks like it's Doctor's Deals. And if I come down here, I don't see the brand or Amazon selling it. So we can check both those off. The brand and Amazon is not a seller. That's really good news. Also, we can confirm that this isn't a private label product since there's other brands selling it. I see Dr. Deals here, Sleeping on Clouds, and again, Dr. Deals. They have a few listings it looked like with different shipping times available. Now, the next thing we're gonna look for is a low competition buy box. So again, earlier I said we wanna have less than 10 high quality sellers in the buy box. And we're off to a good start here. There's only 4 total, but what I mean by high quality is, let's first look at the number of ratings each seller has. So that's the first way to check the buy box quality. In this case, Doctor's Deals has quite a few. They have 21,000 ratings and 97% of those are positive. You can see they have a full 5-star there. If I scroll down here, the next one is, Dr. Deals is again in here quite a few times. They just have different shipping options, it appears. But Sleeping on Clouds has about 2,000 ratings and 95% of those are positive. So that's the first way to check the quality of the buy box. In this case, we don't have to worry too much about that. If we were to come in and compete here, obviously if we're a new seller, we have 0 ratings, it's gonna be tough to win the buy box, but we can still get in there and rotate with them as long as the price point is there. And that's the second way to look at the quality of any buy box is how many sellers are within 2% of the sales price, which you see up here is $49.95. So I say 2% because this is where the 2% rule comes into play. On Amazon, if you're priced within 2% of the lowest price, you should be rotating with the buy box winner. Maybe not at an equal rate, but pretty close to it. So in this case, at $49.95, we can see the next price here is $59.95. That is significantly higher than 2%. And I'll show you what that looks like here. Just pull up our calculator tool. And to determine what 2% of this price is, let's just go $49.95 plus 2%. And that looks like around $51 would be the highest price to be competitive and win the buy box. And as you can see here, there's really only one product within that 2% price range, and that's that same seller, Doctor's Deals. This one down here, Sleeping on Clouds, is significantly more than 2%. So they're probably not winning the buy box. If we can get our price within that 2% range, so in this case around $50 or $51, then we should be able to rotate with this seller for the buy box. So that's just another way to verify the quality of a buy box is to see how many sellers are within that 2% price range. Now, let's go ahead and move on to high demand. I said we want to find products that sell at least 300 units per month. And there's a few ways of sort of calculating this on Amazon. I'll show you a free way of doing it first is to just use the Jungle Scout Sales Estimator. So all you need to do here is collect these 3 pieces of information. The first one is the BSR or the best sellers ranking. So to find that, go ahead and go to the listing and scroll down to the bottom. And in this product information section, you'll see the BSR listed here at the top. So you want to take the top one and you just go back to the estimator, copy that in there, choose your Amazon marketplace, and then the category. In this case, we know we're selling in the baby category. And then once you click estimate, you'll now see the estimated monthly sales for this product on Amazon. And this one's looking really good. And the second way of estimating any product's monthly sales is by using the Jungle Scout extension. I have it pulled up here and we can refer to the overlay up here just to see, 18,000 monthly sales for this product, or by dropping it down, I'll see the monthly sales over time, which we can track. And that's really helpful to understand seasonality trends. Also, this next tab, historical trends, will allow us to see, the monthly and daily sales even for this product over the past 2 years. So we can really start to track this and see if there's any peaks and valleys. And you can even see the buy box price over time, which is the next thing we want to look at here. So we recommend selling products that are priced, again, above $20. And we can use this to verify that it doesn't really drop down to that level of under $20. I can see it's came down to $31, but it stayed there only for a day. And it looks like the lowest price point over the past year, at least, typically stays in that $40 to $50 range here. Okay, and then the last thing you want to look at on any product you're analyzing is the improvement potential. So I mentioned this earlier, you want to try to find products that you see an improvement to the listing. In this case, if I look at the title, it looks really good. The images look really good. And I noticed earlier just by scrolling down, they have A+ content. So this listing is pretty good. It really doesn't have any room for improvement. That doesn't mean I wouldn't look into this product further, but that's just something you want to try to check if possible. I'll show you an example later on in this video of a product that you can definitely improve. Now that we've verified the listing and the buy box, we can go ahead and look up the supplier. So I would just take the name of the brand and maybe even the product as well, and then just run a Google search for it. So here we go. I'm gonna copy and paste that name in here and just try to find their website, which thankfully shows up right up at the top here. From here, again, just like we did with the other websites, scroll down to the very, very bottom. And I don't see any portal here for wholesaling, so I can just go to contact us. And this is where you'd want to reach out and contact them about downloading their inventory list and opening a wholesale account with them. I want to show you another way of finding these products using Amazon's bestseller list. In this case, I have up the Jungle Scout category trends tool. So this is a tool that lets you track the top 100 products for really any category or subcategory available on Amazon. But unlike the bestsellers list on Amazon, we can actually go back in time. So I can see here, if I go back to, baby, and then what do we do for moms earlier? I can actually select a date range and go back as far back as I want to. And this is really powerful because on Amazon, you're just able to see the bestsellers for that day. So for example, maybe I just want to go back a couple weeks to October 1st and see what the best-selling products were at that time for this subcategory here. And we can start to keep a list of these products by just choosing different dates, and you'll see a trend. So at the top here, you see the previous 3 days. And again, this will help you keep track of trends. You can open up any product and see a historical rank of the BSR over time. And you can do things like, clicking this icon will send you over to a listing. You can add it to your product tracker. I'm going to show you this in a second. This is where you can, start to list your products and keep your ideas organized in a tool like Jungle Scout, or you can actually look up the top keywords. Now, I want to try to find that product that we looked at earlier. I think this is it right here. Yeah, the PharmaDoc pregnancy pillow, and I see, wow, that BSR spiked over time. But this is a really cool tool to see the best-selling products over time rather than just the day you're looking at it. So when you're coming up with all these ideas like I'm showing you, you can just add any product to your product tracker. Whether you're looking at it from here or just on Amazon, you can use the extension as well. And then when you head over to the product tracker, this is where you can start to group all your ideas here. You'll see we have a bunch of different ideas here for a lot of products that we're looking at, but you can start to go into the individual groups up here at the top and see a group overview. So if I was looking at, pregnancy pillows, for example, I can put a bunch of pregnancy pillows in here. And then this is awesome because I can see a lot of information over time, like the average daily sales, average rank reviews, and then even open it up to get this product trends graph here, which lets me go back 6 months and look at the rank in units sold over time, or record any notes with this note app here. Now, the next way to look for the best wholesaling products is using a tool like Product Database to search through every product on Amazon using advanced filters. This will make the process so much easier and so much faster. We showed how to do this in another video, but real quick, all you basically will do is select your marketplace, regardless of what country you're selling in, the categories that you're selling in. What did we look at last time? I think it was just baby. And then you can use these advanced filters over here. So remember earlier, I said we want to sell items that are priced over $20. So here we can put that down as the minimum price point. In terms of sales, we can use 300 as our minimum to see just the highest selling products. We'd want to remove Amazon from the buy box. So to do that, click FBA and FBM. Alternatively, if we want to sell something small and lightweight, we can select standard here, but I just want to keep my options open at first, and we can always come back and filter out the oversized products if we'd like. And now what we can do is add 2 in the minimum sellers field. And again, this will just show us products that the buy box has 2 or more sellers, therefore weeding out private label products. Now, this last filter I'm going to use is listing quality score, and I'm going to put 6 as the max. So what this is an in-house Jungle Scout algorithm that is looking at listings on Amazon and grading the quality of them. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best and 1 being poor listings, Jungle Scout's going around looking at, the titles, the keywords being used, whether or not they're using bullet points, product descriptions like A+ content, and then obviously the images themselves. Listings that are poor will get a scale, or we'll get a a grade like 6 or under, for example, and really strong listings will have 7, 8, 9, 10, for example. So I'm putting 6 here to help isolate the products or the listings that have really poor listings. That way we can come in, optimize them, which is a value add to the brand or manufacturer. Now, the last thing I'm gonna do here before clicking search is exclude top brands. That's basically gonna try to weed out all these really big brands, you know, like Nike or Adidas. You'll still have to do some of that work manually, but this is a really good start. Now, once you click search, you'll have a full list of products here, in this case, 1,700 that match our above criteria. Now I can go ahead and sort through the monthly sales to get the highest selling ones at the top first, and do that for any of these columns. But the main thing that you wanna look at here is you wanna ensure that the brand is not the same as the seller. Remember, you don't wanna sell anything where the manufacturer of the brand is already selling it on Amazon. They're not gonna open a wholesale account with you. So to do that in this tool here, you can see the name of the brand listed right here and the name and the number of sellers listed in this column here. So, you know, taking any product here, for example, this one here, Star Mark is the name of the brand, and there's 9 sellers, and the buy box owner is Monster Pet. So, you know, we're not seeing Star Mark as the brand owner, at least right now, but to verify that, let's just head over to the listing and double check. Okay, so I have the listing open up here. Just wanna open up the buy box and confirm that Star Mark is not one of the sellers here. So the buy box owner is Monster Pets. Let's see. I'm also looking for Amazon. I wanna make sure that sold by is not, Amazon isn't in here anywhere, and I'm not seeing Amazon or Star Mark, so that's a really good sign. Cool. So there's about 9 different sellers in this buy box. You know, again, we want to go through our check. So the first thing I'm looking at is how many strong sellers are there, the quality of these sellers. I see this first seller has a lot of ratings, so you know that's a little intimidating, but that doesn't mean we can't sell his product still. But the next thing I want to see is, you know, how many of these products or these listings are priced within 2% of this top price here of about 22.27. Okay, so let's do the math on this real quick. So 22.27 plus 2%. So the highest selling price here within that 2% price range is about $22.71 or 72 cents here. So let's now see how many of these sellers fit within that 2% price range. So okay, looking for 22.71. I see one over here. See another one. Another one will count that. So about 3. It's about 3. It's cool. So 3 of the 9 sellers are within that 2% price range. That's not that much. Again, our indicator, or what we want to see, is under 10. So we're only looking at 3 here. Another thing I like to look at too is how many of these sellers are using FBA or FBM. So if a lot of sellers are using FBM, they're fulfilling their own orders. That's a pretty good sign, because Amazon wants the buy box owner to be FBA. They want you to use Amazon's fulfillment service because you get that Prime badge and a bunch of other benefits for the end consumer. In this case, and you can find that out by seeing who ships it. If it says Amazon, then that's FBA. If it says in this, let's see if I can find an example here. No, wow, actually this guy at the end here. So Vallo Market is using FBM. He's the only seller on this buy box that uses FBM. So if you're looking at a buy box to determine the quality of the sellers in there, I would also look to see who's using FBA, who's using FBM. Again, you want to see a lot of sellers using FBM, but in this case, that's not happening. But again, that's not something that would deter us from selling this product. It's just a nice to have. Now, I want to go through this listing and look at the improvement potential. This is a product that I think we could greatly improve the listing of. So just starting at the title here, they're not really using that many keywords. You know, you'd probably want to go ahead and look up the top keywords for this product, which you can do with the extension here. If I just look up the top keywords, I'll see a full list of keywords. In this case, about 137 keywords that we can potentially add to this listing. A next thing I want to look at here is the images. There's only 2 images here. So, you know, this product's getting 685 monthly sales with just 2 images. The bullet points could certainly be improved, just like the title. If we scroll down here, they really don't have a product description either. So either we would add a new product description, or if you're brand registered, you'd add A+ content. So definitely this listing could be improved. You see the listing quality score is a 4. So that's really cool. Now, I just showed you how to do this with the product database tool, but everything I just showed you can be done using the extension and filtering products that way. So if we stick with this idea here, what do we got? Dog, dental, chews. Type that into the search bar, and we can pull up the extension this way and use those same filters we used back in the product database. So coming up here can just, you know, filter for the exact same thing. We want to see $20 minimum, 300 minimum monthly sales, no fewer than 2 sellers, FBA and FBM, and listing quality score, the max 6. And then go ahead and click apply changes. Now I can go ahead and look through these products here. I wouldn't want to sell Kirkland, pretty big brand. Pedigree's another big brand. Verback, I'm not familiar with them. It looks like they have 647 monthly sales. How many sellers? About 4 sellers, so that's pretty good. Let's go ahead and click into the listing. And now we can begin looking at the buy box here. So making sure Verback is not a seller or Amazon's not a seller first. So who's winning the buy box? We see the Fitter Critter. And okay, I'm not seeing Amazon or the brand in the buy box, so that's really good. Also, I did notice that the buy box owner is FBA, but I see an FBM product listed here, so that's pretty good. And then 2% range, so 2304. If we bring up the calculator again, so it looks like 2350 is the maximum price to stay within that 2% price range. And looking down here, I see about 2 of them. Okay, so 2 other sellers are priced within the 2% range here. This seller is not. So that's a pretty good sign. There's only about 3 really strong competitors here. And then coming back to listing here, just checking the listing quality, and very similar to the last product. It looks like we can definitely improve the listing here on the title, the bullet points, the images are very basic. There's no lifestyle images. And let's see, scroll down. They do have A+ content, so that's good. Potentially we can actually just use some of these images and put them into the product images as well. So actually they don't have a product description. They have a brand section here. So we can definitely come in and improve this listing. The listing quality score is 5. Now, using those 2 products we just found, the dental chews for dogs, let's now see if we can find their contact information and reach out to them. So from here, just copy the brand name and the product and then paste that into Google. We're gonna try to find the supplier website. So I see it listed right here. And then from here, going down to the bottom to find their contact form right here. And so in this example, it looks like there's no email address. So what we can do is actually just give them a phone call and either ask for their email or talk to them over the phone. So that works out here. Now let's go ahead and do the same thing for the second product, this 3-pack Star Mark. So same exact thing, try to find their website, then go back to Google, enter that product and brand name, try to find their website. It's not at the top, but it's right here. Okay. And then scroll down to the bottom, try to find their contact. I see connect or their email address right here. So we can actually email them here, but I did notice up at the top real quick is there's 3 separate websites linked here. So I assume these are theirs. If I click the first one here and then scroll down to the bottom, I actually see a different link, and this one is US distributors. Now, if I click into this appears to be a full list of all their distributors in a bunch of different states, or you can see nationwide catalog here. So on this distributor page, I'm located in Texas. I can just come over here to the Texas distributor. And from here, this is the company or the distributor that I'd want to contact. So coming down here to contact us, and I see this, become a retail partner. I can just add my company information and all this stuff. Once I submit the form here, hopefully we'll be able to open a wholesale account with them and download their inventory list. Okay, I think this is a really good point now to talk about the requirements in order to open a wholesale account, and also what you should say when you reach out to suppliers. Let's start with the requirements first. There are 3 things you're gonna need: a business license, an EIN, which is an employee identification number, and either a resale permit or certificate. And depending on which state you live in, this will vary. It may be called a permit, it may be called a certificate, or it may be called a sales and use tax. And in some states you need both, in some states you just need one. I'll show you how to do this in a second, but you wanna look it up for your specific state. Let's start with a business license. Now, you don't technically need this, you don't need an LLC, but you will open up a ton more wholesale accounts if you have one. You'll come across a lot more professional. So the few ways of doing this, you can just go to your state's website and register your business. I know in Texas that costs about $300, but in some other states it's like $100 or $50. Just check out the prices for your specific state. Most people do form an LLC, so you want to look into that as well. Now for your EIN, your employee identification number, this one actually is free. You just head over to irs.gov and register for a free EIN. Lastly, your resale permit or certificate. So again, each state is different. Some of these will be free, some of these will have small fees, and some of these you just need to get one permit, some you need to get 2 separate ones. For this one, just go to your state's website and get that resale certificate, or much better, use this website here. We'll go ahead and drop this down in the description, the link to this website. But for example, I come here, I live in Texas, so I click Texas, and then you'll see the website listed here for your specific state to get your resale certificate. This just makes the whole process of trying to find where to go so much easier. And if you want to complete all 3 of these steps, get the business license, EIN, and resale certificate much easier, I'd recommend using a site like LegalZoom that helps you do all of that for you. You will pay a little bit more, but trust me, it will be a whole lot easier to get all 3 of these things with them. Now let's head back over to this contact us page on this distributor, and I'll let you know what to say when you reach out to these suppliers. After you fill out this information here in this form, in your first message to them, you just want to communicate that you have a retail business, and hence why you registered your business. You want to come across as professional, and then let them know that you partner with online retailers to help grow their online presence. In this case, you're saying you want to open a wholesale account with them, and to let them know how you can begin this process. And then the last line, you just want to tell them right off the bat that you're serious, that you have your business license, and you have your resale permit available. That's probably going to be the first thing they're going to ask for. After reaching out to the supplier, if you don't hear anything back in the next 3 to 5 days, you can go ahead and either give them a call or a follow-up email. So in that next line of communication, this is where you want to communicate all the ways that you can improve their Amazon listing, in that you have experience doing that. So this is important because they're most likely getting hundreds of emails every single week from Amazon sellers like yourself. Except how many of them do you think are offering value in exchange for the opportunity to resell their products? Identifying the improvement potential is one of the best ways of getting your foot in the door. And if you want to learn more about this strategy, I dive much deeper into it in this next video. So go ahead and check that out. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh crap. It's kind of small. 8,000, that's a lot. And you can even see the buy box price over time, which is the...
You can't make it bigger, can you?
I don't think so, does it?